is Sameera Desai? What made you want to start that kind of business up? Had you always wanted to be an entrepreneur? Do you remember how you got your first customer? Welcome to the JOD Pod, a micro podcast where we interview CEOs, founders, entrepreneurs, authors, and coaches. Today, we are joined by Sameera Desai, founder of the brand Atelier. I got that.
You got it right. Well done.
Yeah, thanks very much. Great to have you with us today, Sameera.
Thanks for having me, Jod.
No worries. So, for those of us who don't know who you are and what you do, who is Sameera Desai?
Yeah, so I'm the founder and brand strategist at the brand Atelier, which is a branding studio which niches in premium branding for lifestyle, luxury, and property brands.
Fantastic. And how long have you been running that organization, that business for?
Yeah, I've been doing this for about a year now.
Okay. And what made you want to start that? A year ago, things were pretty dicey.
Yeah, for sure.
What made you want to start that kind of business up?
Well, so I'm an ex-corporate. I worked as a project manager for many years, and took some time off to have my first child, and then realised I didn't quite want to go back to the corporate world. So I set up a property portfolio to help supplement my income, and then decided to get into business to kind of sustain that, and got a bit of a taste of entrepreneurship, and it's been uphill ever since. And having set up a business, I realised that the most important element that I enjoyed from that whole experience was branding and helping other people with their branding. So yeah, sorry for the long answer, but
No, that's wonderful. What was, had you always wanted to be an entrepreneur? What first made you want to start?
Do you know, I actually did. I always wanted to do things on my own terms. I kind of felt a little bit out of sorts in the corporate world, and I knew that very early on. So yeah, it's something that I always found myself drawn to. I was always really interested in people who owned businesses. I'd ask them a million questions, and just the types of books that I was reading from a young age just always had a keen interest in business.
Wonderful. And do you remember when you started the business up, how you got your first customer?
I do actually. It was a conversation with somebody I'd met whilst I had a property business, and he was like, "Oh, I could do with some help with my branding," and I thought, "Oh, that would be perfect. It's somebody from property, it's somebody from branding. That would be a great first project." And yeah, he graciously agreed to let me use him as a guinea pig, shall we say, and haven't looked back since. So
fantastic. Did you use that language as well, guinea pig?
Oh no, not with him. That would be.
Oh no, because I like it, because one of the things that I talk to people a lot about is, well, I'm trying an experiment.
Okay.
And actually, people like kind of getting involved in that, and particularly if you're trying to get started.
Yeah.
It's an interesting term to use. That's fantastic. So tell me about the brand Atelier. What do you do? How does it work?
Yeah, so we work with, as I said, property businesses or people who have like luxury brands or lifestyle brands, and we work with them mainly on their brand identity. So that's sorting out their brand philosophy, their visuals, and their messaging, to create an identity which either needs to position them in a particular way because they're trying to attract new audiences, or maybe they've got a new product or an offering, or maybe they've just had to reinvent themselves, as many businesses have over the past couple of years, to fit in with the new digital age.
And are you finding that there's, within those particular sectors that you've highlighted, so property and luxury, that people need that kind of support?
Oh, certainly within the well, we'll start with property. So with property businesses, obviously, a lot of the investors or the developers that I talk to, they're constantly trying to raise funds. So it's in their interest to have a very strong brand, because there's millions of investors and developers looking to raise funds at the minute. So it's all about, how do you stand out? How do you show yourself as somebody who's really trustworthy, who's got a great track record? And how do we position you so that you're different to the hundreds and hundreds of other businesses online looking to raise funds? And then with regards to luxury, lots has changed in the luxury landscape, because people are looking for more purpose-driven brands. I don't know if you've noticed this, but audiences are really looking to engage with brands which have a much stronger purpose over and above their need to make a profit, and consumers are very conscious about this. And then luxury brands are also trying to reposition themselves, because it used to be very brand centric, and they're now moving towards a much more user centric type of brand. So it's all focused on the customers. How can we personalize things? How can we engage better with audiences? So yeah, those are kind of the changes that are happening in the industry at the minute. So it's an interesting time.
Yeah, like it is, and I think there's an interesting fact that the luxury end of the market is seeing an uptick, basically in the work that it's doing, and it makes sense for businesses to target those areas with their own branding. Can you imagine? Let's say your ideal customer was listening to this, and what kind of problem would they be feeling right now with their branding that would make it a no-brainer for them to reach out to you?
Well, that's a good question. So competition is higher now than it ever has been, and it's only about to get worse as more and more businesses enter the market. And I think lots of people have been introverting, and they've been spending a lot of time at home. And I don't know if you've noticed, James, but there's a lot of people who are leaving the corporate world and starting their own boutiques. So I guess the value in my service is very much working with you to build strong foundations, so that we set your branding up right, so that you're a step ahead of the masses of competition that's already taking place right now. So it's really about differentiation. It's really about developing the right personality and the right character, because that's what people connect with, don't they? It's not the brand themselves; it's the personality behind the brand which really drives purchasing decisions. So.
Yeah, and I think that's an interesting point you said about lots of people that are doing this. Like, there's so many tools and applications out there which you can use for free, which basically means anybody can start a business.
Yeah, for sure.
But it does mean that anybody can start a business,
yeah.
and you can end up going down some really weird rabbit holes. And what you want to do, from the businesses that I've seen that have been successful, one of the things that they do is they partner with people that are experts in particular areas that they're weak at. So, if you're very good at public speaking, for example, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be very good at designing your own brand or building your own website or designing your own kind of social media. Your skill is going to be getting in front of people, getting in front of onto a stage and talking about it. So you want to partner with people like you that can actually create a brand around what they do, and so that all of their assets, align with their story.
For sure. I mean, I think we put this on all our collateral. It's like, let us take care of the branding, and you can focus on what you do best, which is running your business. Which at the end of the day, that's what you really want to do.
I agree wholeheartedly. I speak to a lot of business owners that stick their head in the sand with things that they're not good at, or that they just try and use a free tool, or they just try and use Fiverr rather than actually partnering with an expert. So I think there's going to be a lot of people out there that are listening to this that need help with their branding, and I'm sure they'll reach out. That's fantastic. Sameera, are you ready for some quick fire questions?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Awesome. What's your favorite app or SaaS product that you use every day?
Okay, it's kind of a secret, so don't tell too many people, but have you heard of copy.ai? Oh, it's so good. It's you literally put in some text, and you can write product descriptions, website copy, pretty much anything. It can write you blog posts. It's not perfect. It leverages AI to generate the copy, but I mean it's near enough perfect. It's the one app that the cost comes out of my my account every month, and I'm like, yeah, that's okay. I'm happy with it. Take my money.
That's worth it.
It's totally...
I do like Copy AI in particular is great. I follow the founder. I can't remember his name off the top of my head on Twitter. And they've grown so fast. It's incredible.
Yeah.
But it's so helpful. I write a lot of copy for our clients. I don't use that particular service, but I use another AI service,
Yeah.
and it doesn't give you the finished article,
No,
but it helps with ideation and coming up with ideas,
yeah.
which is really really useful. Thanks for sharing that. That's the first AI tool that people have shared with us on the podcast.
I'm sure there are more. At some point, somebody needs to create like one for graphics and for like making like pictures and stuff, because that would be awesome. Can you imagine? I want this picture, and then the AI kind of.
The search in Canva is pretty good.
Oh yeah, for sure.
If you look, but you've got to know how to search for it. And I think some of the logo businesses that are out there are pretty good at kind of throwing up some ideas. But I know what you mean. I think that will be coming over the next few years. I'm sure. What's your most recommended book, Sameera?
It's actually Key Person of Influence by Daniel Priestley. I think I've handed out so many copies of that, I've lost count. If I have a meeting or something, I'll gift it to the person that I'm having a meeting with, or during COVID, I think you can get a copy of it digitally online. So I've shared that quite a lot. It's one of my favourite books. I read it and then I reread it.
And there's been a new version done recently as well.
Yeah, there has. Yeah, he's updated it in line with new campaigns and what's going on in the market. So yeah, great read. Highly recommend it.
Wonderful. Thanks for that recommendation for Daniel. Who's your favourite YouTuber or podcaster at the moment?
So it's not actually a person. It's actually a YouTube channel. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called The School of Life. Have you ever seen any? Oh, it's great. They have very like bite-sized videos about entrepreneurship, about life, philosophy, business, just a whole diverse range of topics like emotions and psychology, and just the way that they're animated and the way that they explain things is very thought-provoking. Check it out. It's great.
Wonderful. And that's on YouTube?
It's on YouTube. I think you can follow them on Instagram as well, but yeah, they're mainly on YouTube.
Brilliant. Yeah, I like those kind of those channels which kind of bring together lots of different thought leaders and then animate them, because I'm very visual in the way that I learn.
Same here, yeah.
It's good to see those kind of things. Thanks for the recommendation. I'll definitely check that out. Big one. Who do you think the next Elon Musk or Denise Coates, the CEO of Bet365, might be? Who's your up and comer?
Oh, do you know what? I was looking into this gentleman called Eric Teller. I think Astro is like his middle name. He's the CEO of a company called X, and they're just working on some really cool projects at the moment. So like a drone delivery company, Dandelion Energy, which looks at like geothermal heating, and a company called Loon, which like I don't know, they have like balloons launched into the stratosphere to like provide internet access to a remote community. So like loads of things, loads of patents. Yeah, real up and coming, not very well known.
No, but that's such a great name though. That's definitely
Astro. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, fantastic. And the company's called X.
Yeah, it's called X.
Brilliant. You, I bet that's your ideal client as well.
Oh,
you'd love to get hold of that brand.
That'd be so cool. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Oh, that's brilliant. So, Sameera, where's the best place for people to find you online if they want to follow up with you?
Yeah, so my website would be www.thebrandatelier.co.uk, or you can find me on LinkedIn. I post a lot of insights on there. Or would it be okay to plug my scorecard?
Plug.
Yeah, so if you want to know how well your brand is performing against like the metrics that the luxury brands of today kind of use, check out premiumbrand.scoreapp.com, and we'll give you a score to tell you how good your brand is performing and maybe some places where there could be some improvements.
Wonderful. And we'll put a link to that in the show notes as well, so people can follow up with that easily. Sameera, wonderful. There we have it. Sameera Desai is the founder of the brand Atelier, who works with boutique business owners to build powerful, purpose-driven brands. She managed to get her first customers just through chatting with someone she's already working with on another project. Not as a guinea pig, definitely not as a guinea pig, but kind of as a guinea pig. Sameera's favourite app is copydate.ai, which she uses every day to help write give her ideas for her brand copy and blog posts, etc. Her most recommended book is Key Person of Influence by Daniel Priestley, and she loves watching the School of Life on YouTube. She thinks that we should be keeping an eye on Eric Astroteller, the CEO of X. And you can find out more about Sameera and the brand Atelier by heading to www.thebrandatelier.co.uk. That's TheBrandatelier.co.uk. Sameera, thanks for joining us today on the JOD Pod.
Thanks for having me. It's been awesome.
And thank you for joining us today on the JOD Pod. To ensure that you don't miss any of these episodes, play the game. Make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, bang the bell. You know how YouTube loves those algorithms. And what else they like is they like questions. If you've got any questions about your branding, about how you can improve your branding to maybe look at a more luxury end of the market, drop a comment below this video. Sameera will, I'm sure, jump in and answer each and every question that we get. I'll answer some questions as well if there's anything about my unique style of branding. Leave them below and we'll be sure to get back to every single one of them. So hopefully you've been inspired by Sameera building a business in the last year out of lockdown. So please go build something and inspire the next generation. Thanks for joining us today on the JOD Pod.
If you enjoyed this interview, why don't you check out some of these other interviews that we've done on the JOD Pod. More inspirational CEOs, coaches, entrepreneurs, founders, and authors. I'm sure there's something here that will inspire you to build something new.